the aim to only have the trucks removed from the M4. As you all know, that was one of our biggest struggles. So what would happen in this area, once we start with all the modernization and the implementation of all the cameras, as we explained earlier in the Lebombo Port, once a truck enters at point 1, where you enter into the facility, it will move up the road to point 2. There would be, from point 1 to point 2, there will be cameras, what we call ANPR, number plate recognition cameras, which would then lead back to the customs declaration that was made initially. So by the time that the truck enters this facility, we as customs would already have prior knowledge if this truck is compliant, if there's anything outstanding, if there's any potential risk that has been identified, and then from there we can then move them into the appropriate lane to ensure that we do not create additional congestion, and then allow the trucks that are, or the consignments that are compliant to move freely through this facility. When they come from point 2, they would then have the option, if they are non-compliant, to follow a specific lane, which would then allow them to go to see the hearing agent or to follow whatever steps they need to do, while the others that are compliant, we then move forward to point number 3. As early as point 2, we are segregating the specific commodities. We would have one of the lanes dedicated to our perishable goods, which is priority for us, getting them through the port. Then we would have what we call general cargo. That's your cargo that is not related to perishable goods or mineral goods. That's more or less your port liners. They would then have a special lane for themselves. And then we have our empty trucks and trucks that need to pass through the port that are not loaded. From there on, the majority of the lanes, which is around about 5 to 6, would be dedicated to minerals, seeing that is our majority of our product moving through this port. And then last but not least, the first lane on my right-hand side would be dedicated to the AEO, or the Authorized Economic Operator clients. Once they get to point 3, the assumption is then, and the requirement from a customs perspective, is that that truck is ready to proceed to the Lebombo Border Post. There's no further inspections to be done, there's no further risk identified. At point 3, there will also be what we call joint operations between other government agencies, your CBRTA, your SAPS, SANDF, or anyone that wants to do any form of law enforcement would have to do it prior to point 3, so that when the truck leaves at point 3, they are physically cleared to come through to point number 4, where physical processing will then happen from a customs perspective. When we get to point 4, this is where we're currently located. We have the 4 mobile trucks, which is currently dedicated to then perform the customs function. In one truck, the first truck to my left, you would then have immigration officials sitting on both ends of the truck. You would then have customs officers, South Africa Customs, on both sides. And then the second truck will be then dedicated to our Mozambican colleagues. With a similar setup, you will have your immigration sitting on both ends of the truck, and your alphabetics on the other end, on both ends of the truck. Meaning then that when a truck arrives, let's say on the far side of this channel we are in now, the driver would not need to get out of the truck because he can pass the documents through the window. Unfortunately, on this side, the driver will have to get out of the truck and then present the documents. But that would not be a significant delay in terms of time, because they can then issue it straight through the window. Once they've concluded the South African part, which is the immigration process and the customs process, they would then proceed to the second truck, where the Mozambican colleagues would then take over, and they would then do a similar process, immigration on both sides for two trucks, and then on the customs side, Africa side, both trucks there. Once those trucks are then released, they would then move through towards the staging towards the N4, where there will be communication from this point at point number 5 all the way to the border. There's already been, in terms of the modernization process, as I indicated, from point 2 there will be ANPR cameras, point 3 there will be ANPR cameras, point 4, point 5, all the way on along the M4. This one is lit now. all the way along the N4, where we will physically, from a customs perspective, timestamp each and every process. When you enter point 1, there'll be a timestamp. When you come to point 2, there'll be a timestamp. Point 3, point 4, point 5, all the way through to the border. So from a customs perspective, we will be able to then conclusively determine what the time is that was spent for a specific truck from point 1 into the border, exiting through the border. Over and above that, other modernization tools that we are implementing would then be, as I indicated, the ANPR cameras. It will be the 360-degree view cameras for viewing purposes to ensure that we can monitor from our national targeting center the movement of the trucks, any congestions, we can quickly then act on that. We can send out people to go and assist. We've also, as our head of land modality indicated, there will be billboards that would be directing a specific truck with a number plate to which lane they need to follow. Should there be any issue or any reason for them to be inspected for any further reason, they would then get that specific notification and they would then move to the appropriate lane. From that appropriate lane, we would then, after the processing here, we will not process them to actually leave the port or to enter the port at Lebombo. Reason being that there should be a physical inspection of some sort, or there might be a scan that would be required or anything in that regard. We would then escort the specific truck just past point 5, past this facility, all the way back to the kilometre 7 facility where customs is situated, where we actually do our physical inspection. So it is out of the process. There's no delay being caused to other transporters that are compliant. Once the inspection is done, we would then release that truck and it will follow the process up to kilometre 7. Over and above that, I think there's a lot more modernization that is planned in terms of automating the entire process. Currently, it's still mostly manual in the sense of marking for arrival and exit. However, in the very near future, my colleague here is giving me the nod. That would then be fully automated, so we will then move away from manual processing and everything will be done electronically. It will be managed from a national targeting center, and then we would then be able to release our customs officers to do what customs officers are supposed to do, which is enforcement and trade facilitation. And from a customs perspective as well, we want to see a fully automated process combined with a one-stop border process. And that is where we are striving, and hopefully in the next few months that will become a reality for us. Not just to ensure compliance, revenue collection, but also to ensure trade facilitation. I think the Honourable Minister mentioned eavesdropped at the Lebombo side, which he said we need to have less time spent on the road to enhance the economy of South Africa and Mozambique in that regard. I thank you.
Thank you, Ministers. I think he has covered the whole issues that we're going to do here. This is a place where we did the pilot project. So, as you can see, those trucks that are here, we're going to use them as offices. So, our Mozambican counterpart will have an office. We'll have an office, like as he has explained. The only issue is maybe a rehabilitation of this area again. We have spoken to CEO Truck. They'll be looking at those issues because there were OHS issues that the colleagues raised. But we have purchased the PPEs, Minister. Remember previously that was the issue. So we have the PPEs. The colleagues will be able to work from here. That's it from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, General. I was just saying to SARS that they have already started installing some
I will go to the chemist, I will buy the masks myself. You cannot tell me you can't look at
with regards to cameras, there are few that were installed, and some of them they just make their connection points. So they will be installed at a later stage, yes.
So you've got Wi-Fi here now.
Yes. We've got connectivity. There's Wi-Fi connectivity. There's a camera there. There's one. There's a camera towards the end there. That one is a 360-degree angle one. Is it the big one there?
Yeah.
There's another one that will be installed in the middle as well for overview as well. But in other areas, they just put terminal points for connection with the later stage.
What is
So
the main function of the cameras that you have there? I'm asking about the cameras. The cameras. Yeah.
There's two types. Some it's overview cameras, and some it's for number plate recognition. So when the truck arrives, we take the registration number of the truck, we pull the manifest information, and with that manifest information, we'll automatically mark the truck for arrival at this point in time.
Real time.
Real time. Yes, it's real time.
And in the long term, are you going to live in trucks forever?
No, in the long term, Minister, this border post is one of those that has been identified to be redeveloped and redesigned. So
okay, that's in the partnership, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So by end of this month, the sort will be turned in order for us to have a type of a border post that will be smart.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like kilometer 4.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes. So that's it. Huh? All right. So, colleagues, I think that it's appropriate on behalf of myself and our counterpart from Mozambique to say thank you for the hard work you've done. I must say that when we were here in December, when we said, okay, we're coming back in 3 months, we thought the tailback will have been reduced from 20 kilometers to 5 kilometers. So we're very pleased with this progress. It's really very important. It's, you know, right now there's a boom in the mineral prices. So this is very important work. It saves jobs in South Africa. It's creating jobs in Mozambique. It's very important work that's important to both our economies. So thank you very much for that important work. And Minister, let me take this opportunity to thank you very much for coming. As you know, in Africa, if it rains, it's a blessing. So we are blessed to have you, and may you stay blessed.
Thank you. Well, I would like to thank Minister for your leadership, especially for your team, for the commitment. You did it well. For the last time when we were here, the queue was a little bit longer. I was asking the miracle that you did to remove all the trucks. So that when we're under pressure, we can do it, we can deliver the result. And then we did it well. So the challenge now is just to move for this pilot, for this pressure to move it to normal situation. So this is the effort that we need to do in both sides. Once again, thanks a lot, Minister, and thanks BME, thanks all the team that are working close with you to make sure they can become this border more profitable for both sides, just give more job for South Africa and for Mozambique side, and then special just to increase revenue. These are main objectives. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Are you serving some refreshments?
We had prepared at...
You want to have refreshments? Yes. No, they say the refreshments are where we're coming from.